Here is your long, emotional, YouTube-style story with a strong hook, smooth pacing, and deep emotional development, written in plain paragraphs with no headings, perfect for a 40-minute narration. The restaurant was warm, glowing with soft golden lights, but the single dad standing at the entrance felt anything but calm. Ethan's hands were trembling. After years of putting his daughter first, he had finally agreed to go on a blind date, a favor to a coworker who insisted he deserved happiness too. He wasn't sure if he believed that yet. But he was here, adjusting his shirt collar, rehearsing what he would say to a stranger who might already be judging him. Just as he exhaled and took a step forward, the door behind him creaked open again. Tiny footsteps padded across the floor. A little girl in a blue sweater, barely 8 years old, walked past the hostess and straight toward his table. Everyone stared. She stopped right in front of him, gripping the strap of her tiny backpack, eyes serious yet trembling. Then she lifted her chin, took a shaky breath, and said the sentence that froze Ethan's world. "Mom's sick, so I came instead." The restaurant seemed to hold its breath. A few people turned their heads, confused. A few smiled at her bravery. Ethan knelt slowly, unsure whether this was some kind of mistake. "You came instead of your mom?" he asked softly. The little girl nodded. "You're Mr. Ethan, right? My mom said you were going to meet her. But she started coughing really bad, and she told me it was important. She said you might be someone special. So, I'm here to check." Her voice cracked on the last word. Ethan's heart clenched. Something inside him shifted, the way it only does when innocence collides with pain. He didn't know why, but he gently placed a hand on her shoulder and said, "All right. Then let's sit. I'd be honored to have your company." And just like that, the story truly began. People might click away from a video, unless the story hooks them. But this moment, this unexpected twist, was the kind viewers stay for. Ethan didn't know it yet, but his life was about to change, and the viewers watching would feel it every step of the way. The little girl, Lila, sat on her knees on the chair, her eyes darting around with both excitement and fear. Ethan ordered her warm soup even though she insisted she wasn't hungry. She watched him the way a child studies someone they desperately hope to trust. "So," Ethan said gently, "your mom, she didn't have to send you alone. She could have just called." Lila looked down at her hands. "She didn't want to disappoint you. She's scared people leave when they hear she's sick." Ethan felt his chest tighten. He had once known that fear too. After his wife left when their daughter Mia was only 2, he had spent years worrying people would run the moment they saw the weight he carried. He knew survival by heart, but he also knew loneliness. "Where is your mom now?" Ethan asked. "At home," Lila whispered. "I left her a note. She fell asleep on the couch after her medicine." Ethan's protective instincts surged. He wasn't sure if this was the strangest blind date in history or the most important one. He took out his phone. "Would it be okay if I take you home to her?" Lila hesitated, then nodded so fast it almost made him smile. They left the restaurant together, the little girl holding his sleeve as if it were the safest thing she'd found all day. The apartment was small but clean. When Ethan opened the door, he saw a woman lying on the couch, pale, breathing unevenly. She didn't look weak, she looked exhausted in a way life can exhaust the strongest people. As soon as she stirred, her eyes widened in horror. "Lila, what did you do?" she gasped, sitting up too fast. Before she could panic further, Ethan raised a hand. "It's okay. She did the right thing. She was worried about you." The woman, Grace, looked between her daughter and Ethan, her eyes filling with tears. She tried to blink away. "I'm so sorry. I didn't want to cancel. I didn't want to seem unreliable." "You have nothing to apologize for," Ethan said, his voice firm but warm. "You're clearly doing everything you can." Grace wiped her face, embarrassed. "Life hasn't been easy lately. I didn't want pity. I just wanted one evening to feel like a woman again. Not a patient." Ethan gently draped a blanket over her shoulders. "You don't need to be perfect for someone to stay." Grace looked up at him, shocked by the kindness in his tone. In that moment, Mia, Ethan's own daughter, called him. He answered, and her tiny voice filled the room. "Daddy, are you coming home?" Grace watched, surprised by the softness in Ethan's expression. "I'll be home soon, sweetheart," he said. "I promise." When he hung up, Grace whispered, "You're a father." A single father, he replied. So I know the kind of battles you're fighting. Lila climbed onto the couch beside her mom and leaned on her. Ethan sat across from them, taking in the small, fragile family trying their hardest. Grace smiled weakly. This is the worst blind date ever. Ethan chuckled. Maybe the most honest one. Over the next hour, he helped clean, made tea, and even fixed a broken cabinet hinge in the kitchen. Lila started talking nonstop, about her school, her mom's singing, her dreams of becoming a nurse. Grace looked at Ethan like she was seeing something she had forgotten existed, a man who stayed. When Ethan finally stood to leave, Grace's voice caught him at the door. Would you like to come back? Not for a date. Just, maybe for company. For us. Ethan smiled, the kind that hinted at hope he hadn't allowed himself to feel in years. I'd like that.